Hey, eighth grade. So our learning target today is I can solve two-step equations. If you had me for seventh grade, this just means I can solve using the hand method. So everything about that hand method. So we have order of operations in seventh grade is called please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. You've been doing that forever. That happens when you have no variable, no equal sign. It's just an expression. So when I say no variable, I mean like there isn't a variable that we're solving for. Sometimes we'll have a variable in order of operations, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally questions, where we're going to substitute something in for the variable. That's different. But we're saying if we truly don't know the value of the variable, we're trying to find it, then we have something called an equation. So order of operations, just like in seventh grade, same old thing. So I say no, we stop chop chop anytime we have subtraction. So we'd say parenthesis first. Well, we do have a parenthesis, it's right here, but there's just one number inside of the parenthesis. So there actually isn't an operation there. There isn't any solving happening. So we're going to move on. After parenthesis is an exponent, no powers in there. Multiplication happens next, which gives us negative 10. Negative 10, multiplication, triangle problem there. So we have a negative 5. We have a positive 2, gives us a negative 10. If I haven't used it, I drag it down. Working left to right then, we have $17 in the bank, and we're going to take 10 out. If we have 17 in the bank, we're going to take 10 out. Leaves us with $7 in the bank. Answer is 7. Order of operations since 5th grade, you've been doing that. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. So what's going to happen in today's work, what's going to change a little bit, is we're going to go ahead and say, what happens if we have a variable in there and we have an equal sign? This now becomes what's called an equation. The problem above is called an expression. An expression, no variable, no equal sign. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. The equation, though, there's an equal sign, there's a variable. Now what do? We actually use the order of operations. We do that backwards. We start with subtraction, addition, then division, multiplication, and then we move to parentheses. Now I don't teach it that way. I call it the hand method. So those of you that had me in 7th grade, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to get rid of any subtraction. I said no, we're going to chop that. Then we're going to take our hand and we're going to cover the variable. So that's a giant stop sign there, that 5x. We're going to put our hand on that. Anything by my hand has got to go. So here's my stop sign. The thing that's by my hand right now is plus negative 2. Closest sign to the number 2 has got to go, or is the one we're going to use. The closest sign to the negative 2 right now is negative. Well, this close sign to the 2 is negative. So to get rid of that, we're going to do the opposite of negative. We're going to add to, copy, paste. Working down then. If I haven't used it, drag it down. We have 0. On the right-hand side, we have 13 plus 2 is 15. Triangle problem here then. Opposite of operation and multiplication is division. Copy, paste. Working left to right then, we have 1. X equals 3. Answer is x equals 3. So we have an x equals 3 as our answer. Using substitution then, we have 5x minus 2 equals 13. We want to go ahead and check to see if our solution's correct. So we're going to say yes and no, and then we're going to substitute that 3 back in to make sure it's correct. So we have multiplication here. 5 multiplied by 3 plus negative 2 equals 13. So we have multiplication here is 15 plus negative 2 equals 13. We have 13 equals 13. Yep, for sure we have the correct answer. So all I'm doing over here on the right is just checking my solution to make sure that my answer is correct. Take it, plug it back in, then work order of operations. So the problem on the left is is solving the equation. The problem on the right is the please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. So that's the hand method. Let's try a couple different examples. Down below here, hand method. Draw my vertical line. My job is to get the variable x totally alone. So I'm going to go ahead and solve for this x. I'm going to wrap that all in as a stop sign. Anything by my hand has got to go. The thing by my hand is plus 3. The opposite of plus 3 is minus 3. Minus 3, copy, paste, working left to right then. 13 minus 3 is 10. If I haven't used it, I drag it down, and 3 minus 3 is 0. So moving on now. So we have 10 equals 5 times x. Is the variable x alone? No, not yet. So we're not done. The operation right here is multiplication. To get rid of it, we divide by 5. Copy, paste. Working left to right, 10 divided by 5 is 2. And we get x on the right. X equals 2. Using substitution, let's plug back in and make sure that it's right. So I'm going to rewrite the equation. 13 equals 5x plus 3. Go ahead and write that equation. All right, so catching up there. Then substituting the 2 in. So we have 13 equals 5 times 2 plus 3. That gives us 10 plus 3. 13 equals 13. Yes, for sure, we have it. Just checking our work on the right. On the left-hand side is the solving. So my final answer is x equals 2. Done. Everything over here is just checking to make sure that it's correct. It's called check. All right, last one for hand method. And then if you need some individual help, you'll have to wait till I'm back in class to ask me some specific questions. Whoops, sorry about that. I said no, we stop, chop, chop. Hand method kicks in. We take our hand, cover the variable, and anything attached. My job is to get rid of the plus -2. The closest sign to the 2 wins. The closest sign right now here is negative. The opposite of negative is +2. Copy, paste. Working left to right. If I haven't used it, I drag it down. We have -2 plus 2 is 0. And on the right-hand side, we have 4 plus 2, which is 6. Multiplication then. Multiply nice and high. Multiply nice and high. Copy, paste. Working left to right, we get m equals 30. Using substitution to check. So my answer is m equals 30. We have m divided by 5 plus -2 equals 4. Take that 30 and substitute in. So we have 30 divided by 5 plus -2 equals 4. Is that correct? Well, 30 divided by 5 is 6 plus -2 equals 4. Is that true? I have $6 in the bank. If I'm going to take 2 out, I'm left with $4 equals 4. Got it. Again, all the work down below this line right here, all of this is just checking to make sure that the 30 is correct. Okay, great job today, guys. Everything we did today is the hand method. So for your summaries, remember you're going to use inverse operations to undo problems. In my class, that's just called hand method. Mathematically speaking, though, it's called inverse operations. And then please remember, don't forget to check the answer and make sure it's correct. Okay, 8th grade. Your homework then is to finish the rest of this page, page 3, and all of page 4. I expect to see copy, paste, a vertical line, circle the answers, checking your answers. I expect to see all the steps in the process. Have a fabulous night.